I had just opened the email when I saw the number $45,000. My annual bonus. 3 years of late nights, weekend debugging sessions, and leading that brutal platform migration had finally paid off. I could already picture it. Pay off my student loans, finally get my own place, start fresh. Freedom was right there in black and white on my screen. But then I remembered I had agreed to family dinner that night at my parents' place. I should have known better than to mention it. Before I tell you how this all went down, let me know in the comments where you are watching from. Hit that like button and subscribe, because you are going to want to hear what happens when your own family thinks your hard-earned success is their ticket to paradise. I am 28 years old, and I have been working as a software engineer at a tech company in Seattle for the past 3 years. The project I had just finished was massive. An 18-month platform migration that required every ounce of technical skill I had. When my manager told me the bonus amount, I actually had to sit down. $45,000 after taxes. It was more money than I had ever seen in my life. My current living situation was not exactly glamorous. I rented a room in a shared house with 2 other guys. We split the bathroom, took turns with the kitchen, and I could hear every conversation through the paper-thin walls. I also had $32,000 in student loan debt hanging over my head, like a dark cloud. Every month, $600 disappeared into interest and principal payments. The thought of being debt-free felt like a fantasy. But now it was real. I had already done the math 100 times in my head. $32,000 to wipe out the loans completely. $10,000 for first month last month and security deposit on a 1-bedroom apartment I had been eyeing. $3,000 into an emergency fund. I had even started researching apartments, bookmarking listings, planning to schedule viewings that weekend. The idea of having my own space for the first time in my adult life made my chest feel lighter. My own kitchen where I could cook at midnight if I wanted. A bathroom I did not have to share. A door I could close and know I was truly alone. Independence. That is what this bonus represented to me. My family has always been close. I am the oldest child. My sister Sophia is 25. We grew up in a typical middle-class household. My dad worked as a manager at a manufacturing plant. My mom was an administrative assistant at a dental office. Nothing fancy, but we never went hungry. They did their best. But there was always this pattern. I was the responsible one, the achiever, the one who would make something of himself. And with that came expectations. When I got my first job out of college, my parents needed help with the roof repair. $5,000. They said they would pay me back. They never did. When I mentioned it, months later, my dad said family does not keep tabs. I let it go. Friday evening, I drove the 20 minutes from my place to their house in the suburbs. My beat-up Honda Civic knew the route by heart. I pulled into the driveway and saw my sister's car already there. She had brought her boyfriend, Justin. When I walked in, the smell of pot roast hit me immediately, my mom's specialty. The house looked the same as always. Family photos covering the walls, the same worn couch in the living room, everything familiar and comfortable. Everyone was already gathered in the dining room. My dad stood at the head of the table carving the roast. My mom was bringing out side dishes. Sophia and Justin sat close together, holding hands. It felt warm, safe, like home always had. We made small talk while we ate. My dad asked about work. I could see the pride in his eyes when I mentioned the project completion. My mom asked if I was eating enough vegetables. Sophia talked about her marketing job and some campaign she was working on. Justin nodded along, being the polite boyfriend. Then I made the mistake. I mentioned the bonus. I thought it was good news to share, something to celebrate. My parents had always encouraged my career. I figured they would be happy for me. My mom's face lit up. She smiled so wide. My dad set down his fork and leaned back in his chair, with this satisfied look. Sophia squealed and said congratulations. For about 30 seconds, it felt really good. Then my dad said it. "That is perfect timing, son." I looked at him confused. He exchanged a glance with my mom. She nodded at him like they had discussed something beforehand. "Your mother and I have been talking about taking a family vacation," he continued. "We have been looking at Caribbean cruises. Your bonus can cover it." I laughed. It was a nervous laugh. I thought he was joking, making some dad joke about rich kids treating their parents. But his face did not change. He was serious. "Wait, what?" I said. "We are all going." He stated, his voice taking on that tone he used when he had made a decision. 2 weeks in paradise. You will treat the family." My mom jumped in her excitement building. "I have already been looking at cruise lines. Royal Caribbean has these amazing deals. The ships are gorgeous, and the food is supposed to be incredible." Sophia practically bounced in her seat. "Oh my God, yes, I have always wanted to go to the Bahamas. Justin can come too, right?" Justin nodded enthusiastically. "That would be incredible, man, thanks." I felt like the room was spinning. They were all talking, like this was already decided. Like my money was not actually mine. Like I had already agreed. "Hold on," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "I actually have plans for that money." My dad waved his hand dismissively, like he was swatting away a fly. "What plans? You are young. You have plenty of time. Family comes first." "When was the last time we had a real vacation together?" my mom added. "You owe us this." Those words hit me in the chest. You owe us this. Not would you like to help us. Not could you contribute. You owe us. I tried to explain. I have student loans, $32,000, and I really need to get my own place. I have been planning this. My dad cut me off. Student loans can wait. Those take decades to pay off anyway. A few more months would not make a difference. This is about family. This is about showing appreciation for everything we have done for you. I sat there, my food getting cold on my plate. Sophia and Justin had already pulled out their phones and started browsing cruise websites. My mom was talking about buying a new swimsuit. My dad had moved on to discussing shore excursions like it was a done deal. I tried one more time. This is my bonus. I earned it. I should decide how to spend it. The temperature in the room dropped. My dad's face hardened. "We raised you. We fed you. We clothed you. We paid for your sports teams and your school supplies and your college application fees. And this is how you talk to us." My mom's eyes started to water. "I thought you loved your family." I felt the guilt crash over me like a wave. Maybe I was being selfish. Maybe this was what good sons did. Maybe I was wrong to want to keep my own money. But another part of me, a quieter part, whispered that this was not right, that boundaries were allowed, that I had worked for 3 years straight, that I had earned this, that my future mattered too. The dinner ended awkwardly. I said I was tired from work and left early. The whole drive home, my hands gripped the steering wheel so tight my knuckles turned white. I pulled into my driveway and just sat there in the dark car for 10 minutes. Inside my room, I lay on my bed and stared at the ceiling. My phone buzzed. A text from my best friend Marcus asking how dinner went. I typed out the whole story. His response came quick. "Dude, that is your money. They cannot just take it." But could they? They were my family. Did I not owe them something? My mind went in circles for hours. I barely slept that night. Saturday morning, I woke up exhausted. I tried to focus on some personal coding projects, but I could not concentrate. At 9 in the morning, my phone buzzed. A text from my mom. She had sent me links to 3 different cruise packages. "Which one do you like? We need to book soon before prices go up." I stared at the message. She was acting like I had already agreed, like the conversation was over and we were just working out details now. I typed back carefully. Mom, I really cannot afford this right now. 3 dots appeared immediately. Then her response, do not be silly. You just got $45,000. I have financial obligations, I wrote. We have obligations too. We raised you. This is payback time. Payback time. There it was again. The idea that my success was somehow their property, that I owed them an eternal debt for being born and raised. In the afternoon, my phone rang. My dad. I almost did not answer, but I knew that would make things worse. Your mother is upset, he said without preamble. His voice was stern, disappointed. Why are you being difficult about this? I tried to explain rationally. I walked him through the numbers, the student loan interest rates, how getting my own place would let me save more money long term, how this was about building a foundation for my future. He did not want to hear it. I did not raise you to be selfish. Do you know how much we sacrificed for you? Do you know how much we spent on your college, your books, your computer for school? We could have spent that money on ourselves. We could have taken vacations, but we invested in you. And now you will not even do this one thing for your family. This is not one thing, I said. This is $45,000. This is my entire bonus. This is the least you can do, he said coldly. Then he hung up. I sat on my bedphone in hand, feeling like I had been punched in the gut. Guilt mixed with anger, mixed with confusion. Was I crazy? Was I the bad guy here? Then I started remembering, really remembering, not just the nice moments, but the pattern. I was 14 when I won first place at the science fair, a $500 prize. I was so proud. But my dad's first comment was, "That is because we bought you those books and supplies. You should thank us." In high school, I worked summers at the grocery store. I saved up $2,000 for a car. Then property taxes came due. My dad sat me down and explained that family helps family. I handed over $1,500. I never got that car. I got a full-ride scholarship to college. Merit-based. I worked my tail off for it. But my parents immediately started talking about how that meant I could help pay for Sophia's music lessons. I sent them $300 a month for my part-time campus job. For 4 years. After graduation, I landed my first real job. I was so excited. Within 2 months, my parents needed $5,000 for the roof repair. I gave it to them. They said they would pay me back. They never did. When I asked about it months later, my dad looked offended. Family does not keep score, he said. Every single achievement I ever had, every dollar I ever earned, became family property in their eyes. And I had gone along with it because I thought that was what you were supposed to do. I thought that was love. That was loyalty. But this was different. This was not $500 or even $5,000. This was my entire bonus. This was my future. And they were not asking. They were demanding. Sunday afternoon, they invited me over to discuss details. I went hoping maybe I could reason with them. Maybe if I showed them my budget, they would understand. I was so wrong. When I walked in, the coffee table was covered with cruise brochures, highlighted sections, printed pages with prices, a calculator, a notepad with numbers scribbled all over it. They had done research, serious research. Sophia and Justin were already there, sitting on the couch. Everyone looked at me expectantly. My dad gestured to the papers. "Okay, we have done the math. Here is the breakdown." He proceeded to list everything. Cruise fare for 5 people, $15,000. Round-trip flights, $4,000. Shore excursions, $6,000. For snorkeling, ziplining, beach club passes, spending money $5,000 for shopping, restaurants, and tips. Then miscellaneous expenses $8,000 for hotels before and after the cruise travel insurance and new luggage, because apparently everyone needed new luggage. The total came to $38,000. "See," my dad said, like he was being generous. "We are even leaving you $7,000. That is more than fair." I could not believe what I was hearing. They had planned out how to spend almost all of my money. They had itemized it. They had divided it up. And they thought they were being generous by letting me keep $7,000. "This is my money," I said, my voice shaking. "I earned this. I have plans. I have goals. I have debt." My dad's face turned red. "We raised you. We fed you. We clothed you. We paid for your sports and your activities. Do you know how much Little League cost? How much your travel soccer cost? How much we spent on your SAT prep courses?" My mom started crying, real tears running down her face. "I thought you loved us." "I guess I was wrong about you," Sophia chimed in. "Come on. Do not be selfish. We never ask you for anything." Never ask for anything. Was she serious? Had she forgotten all the times I had helped her out? The rent I spotted her when she was between jobs. The car repairs I paid for Justin, bless him, looked uncomfortable. But he still said it would really mean a lot to Sophia. They were ganging up on me, using guilt, using tears, using my love for them as a weapon against me. "I need to think about this," I said. "What is there to think about?" my dad demanded. "Family or yourself. That is the choice here." I left. I did not say goodbye. I just walked out and got in my car. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely get the key in the ignition. I drove home on autopilot. Once inside my room, I closed the door and sat in the dark. Just sat there, processing, feeling, thinking. Something inside me broke. Or maybe it finally healed. I do not know which. But I knew sitting there in that dark room that I was done. I was done being their ATM machine. I was done feeling guilty for my own success. I was done letting them dictate my future. I was done. That night I did not sleep. I sat at my laptop and opened a spreadsheet. I recalculated everything. Then I started Googling how to set boundaries with family, financial abuse signs, toxic family dynamics. The articles I read made my stomach turn. Everything they described my family did. The entitlement to my money, the guilt trips, the manipulation, the expectation that my success belonged to them. I was not crazy. I was not selfish. I was being used. By 3 a.m, I had made my decision. I was not giving them a single dollar. And I was taking action immediately. I created a plan. Step by step. Monday morning, first thing I would call HR and change my direct deposit information for the bonus. I would open a new bank account at a different bank one my parents did not know about. I would start seriously apartment hunting, and I would move out this week. Before they could pressure me further, before I could second-guess myself. I felt scared, terrified actually, of the confrontation, of being cut off, of being called the bad son. But I also felt something else, something I had not felt in years. Empowerment, like I was finally choosing myself for once in my life. Monday morning at 7, the second the HR office opened, I called. A woman named Patricia answered. "Hi, I need to update my address for my bonus payment," I said, keeping my voice professional and calm. "No problem," Patricia said cheerfully. "What is the new address?" "Actually, can the payment go to a different account? I will provide the routing and account numbers." "Sure thing. Just send me the information and I will update it in the system." I had already opened a new checking account online with Chase Bank during my sleepless night. I gave Patricia the numbers. She confirmed everything. When will the bonus be deposited? I asked, trying not to sound too anxious. It is scheduled for this Thursday. You should see it in your account by noon. Perfect, thank you. I hung up and exhaled. Step 1 complete. During my lunch break, I browsed apartment listings with actual focus this time. I found 3 possibilities and scheduled viewings for after work. At 5:30, I left the office and drove to the first address. The first apartment was too expensive. Not worth it for what you got. The second was in a sketchy neighborhood. Cars on blocks in the parking lot. Bars on windows. I kept driving. The third place was a studio apartment in a decent area. It was small, really small, but it was clean. It had a kitchenette with a 2-burner stove, a private bathroom with a shower that looked recently updated, big windows that let in natural light. The landlord, an older guy named Mr. Patterson, showed me around. It is $750 a month, he said. Utilities included, except electric. I looked around the empty space. It was not much, but it was mine. It could be mine. I will take it, I said. Mr. Patterson smiled. Great. I need first month, last month, and security deposit. That is $2,250 total. When did you want to move in? Can I move in this week? He scratched his chin. Pay me by Wednesday and it's yours. I had enough in my savings account to cover it, barely. But I would do it. I shook his hand. Deal. He pulled out a lease. We signed it right there. He handed me 2 keys. Welcome home, he said. I sat in my car afterwards holding those keys and felt tears prick my eyes. My own place. Mine. Nobody could take this from me. While all this was happening, my phone kept buzzing. Constant messages from my family. My mom sent me a photo of a cruise ship cabin with a balcony view. Found the perfect one. Only $300 more per person, but so worth it. Sophia sent me a GIF of a beach with cocktails. Justin and I are so excited. Thanks, big bro. My dad sent a text that just said, need your bank account number to book. Send it tonight. It was not a request. It was a command. I did not respond to any of them. I just reacted with a thumbs-up emoji to my mom's message. Enough to make them think everything was fine. Enough to buy me time until Thursday. Playing along felt dishonest. But I knew if I told them the truth now, they would escalate. They would show up at my work. They would cause a scene. I needed to get through the next few days quietly. Thursday morning, I woke up at 6. I could not sleep anyway. I checked my bank app every 10 minutes. At 11 in the morning, the deposit appeared. $45,000. Right there in black and white. My hands trembled as I immediately initiated a transfer. $32,000 to my student loan servicer. Pay off the entire balance. Done. I sat there staring at the confirmation screen. 0 balance. After 6 years of payments, after 6 years of watching interest accrue, after 6 years of that weight on my shoulders, it was gone. Just like that. The remaining $13,000 stayed in the account. I sent Mr. Patterson the $2,250 for the apartment. Then I texted him. Paying the deposit now. Can I move in today? Come pick up the keys any time, he responded. I left work early using a PTO day I had saved. I drove to U-Haul and rented a small van. It was 2 in the afternoon. My parents would both be at work until at least 6. I had time. I drove to their house. I still had my key to my old room. I let myself in quietly, even though nobody was home. The house felt different somehow. Less like home and more like a place I used to know. I went to my old bedroom. I had not lived there in years, but I still kept some things there. Childhood books, photo albums, a few boxes of mementos. I started packing systematically. my clothes from the closet, my laptop, my personal documents, books, everything that belonged to me. I did not have that much stuff. I had been living minimally for years. Everything fit in the van in one trip. By 3 p.m, I was done. I went back inside one last time. I wrote a note on a piece of notebook paper. My handwriting was shaky. Mom and Dad, thank you for raising me. I am grateful for everything you have done. But I am 28 years old and I need to build my own life. My bonus is for my future, my goals, my financial security. I have moved out. I need space right now. I hope you can understand someday. Love, Forrest. I left the note on my old desk. I placed my house key on top of it. Then I walked out and closed the door behind me. I drove to the studio apartment. Unloaded everything. It did not take long. The space looked so empty with just my boxes and bags scattered around. But it was mine. All mine. That first night I had no furniture. I ordered pizza and sat on the floor eating straight from the box. I looked around at the bare walls, the empty corners. I should have felt sad or scared, but instead I felt free, lighter than I had in years. Friday evening, my phone exploded. 23 missed calls, dozens of texts, voicemails piling up. My dad had come home. He had found the note. He had discovered I was gone. I listened to the voicemails. The first one was my dad, his voice tight with rage. "Where the hell are you? Call me now." The second was my mom crying. "Baby, please come home. We need to talk. Please." The third was Sophia, confused and worried. "What is going on? Dad is freaking out. Call me." The texts were worse. My dad, "This is unacceptable. You are being childish." My mom, "How could you do this to us? We are your family." I finally answered when my dad called again. I knew I had to face this eventually. "Where are you?" he demanded. "I moved out. I'm starting my own life." "Do not be ridiculous. Come home right now and give me the account number for the cruise booking." "I am not going on the cruise," I said, my voice surprisingly steady. "And the money is already allocated." Silence on the other end. Then, "What? What do you mean allocated?" "I paid off my student loans, and I got my own apartment." More silence. I could practically hear him processing this, the realization that the money was gone, that he could not access it, that I had actually said no. "You are throwing away your family for money." His voice was cold now, dangerous. "I am choosing my future. I am sorry you cannot see that. If you do not come back here right now and fix this, you are dead to me. Do you hear me? Dead to me." Those words hurt. They hurt so much. But I said, "I hope that is not true. But if it is, I will survive." I hung up. Immediately the texts started flooding in. My mom, "You are breaking this family apart." My dad, "We are cutting you off completely. Do not ever contact us again." Sophia, "You ruined everything. We told all our friends we were going on this trip. How could you embarrass us like this?" My mom again, "Your father had to tell his boss we cannot afford the vacation now. He is humiliated." I read them all. Each one felt like a knife. But I did not respond. Instead, I blocked their numbers. Just temporarily. I needed space to breathe without the constant barrage. Saturday, my friend Marcus called me. "Dude, your mom called my mom asking where you are." "Seriously," I said. "Yeah. Apparently they went to your old place. Your roommate told them you moved out but did not leave a forwarding address. They even tried calling your company." I groaned. Of course they did. Marcus continued, "My mom said your mom was crying on the phone. Said you abandoned the family." "I did not abandon anyone. I just chose not to fund their vacation." I know, man, I am on your side. Just giving you the heads up." Later that day, Marcus texted me again. "Dude, get this. My mom heard from your mom that they tried to book the cruise anyway. Thought maybe you would cave and send the money. But their credit card got declined. They do not actually have $38,000. They were counting on yours the whole time." I sat with that information. They had been so confident, so entitled. They honestly believed my money was theirs to spend. They had already told their friends, already made plans, already saw themselves on that ship. And now it was all falling apart. Not because I was mean, not because I did not love them, but because they had no right to my money in the first place. They tried to hold the reservation, Marcus said. Called the cruise line and said their son would pay. But the cruise line needed payment immediately, or they would release the cabin. The cabin got released. The dream vacation evaporated. For the first time in my entire life, I had stood my ground. And they could not do anything about it. The first 2 weeks in my new apartment were strange. Quiet. Peaceful. I went to IKEA and bought the basics. A mattress, a small desk, a lamp, a couple of pots and pans. I budgeted carefully. After the apartment deposit and furniture, I still had about $10,000 left in savings. I opened a separate savings account and deposited it there. Emergency fund. Untouchable. I kept checking my student loan account, hardly believing it. 0 balance. After 6 years of monthly payments, after 6 years of that number haunting me, it was gone. I was debt-free. The feeling was indescribable. At work, something shifted. Without the constant financial stress, without the family drama eating away at my mind, I could focus completely. My performance improved. My boss noticed. "You seem sharper lately," she commented during a check-in meeting. "Whatever you are doing, keep it up." On weekends, I explored my neighborhood. There was a coffee shop 2 blocks away that made incredible lattes. A park where I could walk and think. Simple pleasures I had never taken time to enjoy before. No drama, no demands, no guilt trips, just peace and quiet. Marcus came over to visit. We ordered Thai food and sat on my floor because I still did not have a couch yet. He looked at me and said, "Dude, you look different, lighter somehow." "I feel different," I admitted. "I feel free." But freedom came with guilt. Late at night, alone in my apartment, I wondered if I had been too harsh, if I had overreacted, if I was a terrible son. The conditioning ran deep. 28 years of being told that family comes first, that you sacrifice for the people who raised you, that gratitude means obedience. Then I would remember the entitlement in my dad's voice, the way they had itemized my money like it was already theirs, the tears my mom used as manipulation, the way nobody asked what my dreams were, what I wanted, what I needed, and I knew I had done the right thing. 3 weeks after I moved out, I started seeing a therapist. I found her through my insurance. Her name was Dr. Linda Chen. Affordable copay. I figured I could use someone objective to talk to. In our first session, I explained everything. The bonus, the demand, the manipulation, the pattern throughout my life. Dr. Chen listened without interrupting, taking notes. When I finished, she said something that changed everything. "What you have described is financial abuse, combined with emotional manipulation." Those words hit me hard. Abuse. I had never thought of it that way. She explained patterns I had never had names for. Parentification, enmeshment, conditional love. Healthy families ask and respect boundaries, she said. Your family demanded and guilted. That is not normal. That is not okay. Over the next several sessions, we unpacked years of conditioning. I felt anger at being used, grief for the relationship I thought I had, relief at finally being free, fear they would never understand or forgive me. Dr. Chen taught me how to set boundaries without guilt, how to recognize manipulation tactics, how to say no and mean it. She helped me see that this was not about one cruise. This was about a lifetime of being viewed as a resource instead of a person. My success was never mine in their eyes. It always belonged to the family. 5 weeks after I moved out, I got a text. From Sophia. I had unblocked the numbers by then, figuring I needed to face reality eventually. Can we talk? Just you and me? I stared at the message for a long time. Finally, I responded. Okay. We met at a neutral coffee shop halfway between our locations. I got there first, ordered a black coffee, and sat at a corner table. When Sophia walked in, she looked nervous. Thinner than I remembered. Tired. She sat down across from me. I'm sorry, she said immediately. I did not expect that. For what? For everything. For going along with them. For calling you selfish. For not thinking about you at all. She twisted her napkin in her hands. I have been thinking a lot. I talked to Justin about it. He is an outside perspective, you know. And he said what they did was not okay. That it was not normal. It was not, I agreed quietly. I got so caught up in the excitement of the idea that I did not think about you, about your life, your goals, your money that you worked for. She looked up at me, eyes red. I am really sorry. We talked for 2 hours. Really talked. She told me that our parents were still angry. They refused to discuss what happened. They pretended everything was fine, except they were cutting back on expenses now. Reality had set in. They could not afford the lifestyle they had been imagining. Maybe this was a wake-up call they needed, Sophia said. Maybe they needed to learn that your success does not equal their windfall. Maybe, I said. Sophia and I agreed to rebuild our relationship, but with boundaries. She would respect my space. I would agree to occasional hangouts, just the two of us. Not at our parents' house. Not yet. Maybe not for a long time. Baby steps. 6 months passed. Thanksgiving was approaching. Out of nowhere, my mom sent me a text. The first direct communication in half a year. Would you like to come for dinner? No apology, but the tone was different. Softer, cautious. Like she was testing the waters. I discussed it with Dr. Chen in therapy. What do you want to do? She asked. I do not know. Part of me wants to see them. Part of me is still angry. You can do both, she said. You can go with conditions. Stay at a hotel not with them. Leave if the conversation turns toxic. You control the terms. I decided to go. I booked a hotel room for Thanksgiving night. I texted my mom back. I will come for dinner, but I am staying at a hotel, and if things get uncomfortable, I will leave. She responded, Okay, we will see you then. Thanksgiving Day, I drove to their house. My stomach was in knots. I parked in the driveway and sat there for a minute, building up courage. Then I walked to the front door and knocked. My mom answered. She looked older, more tired. She gave me a hug that lasted a little too long. It is good to see you, she said. Inside, everything looked the same. Same furniture, same family photos. But the atmosphere was different, tentative, careful. My dad was in the living room. He looked up when I walked in. Our eyes met. He nodded once. I nodded back. That was it. No hug. No welcome home. Just acknowledgement. Sophia and Justin were already there. Sophia hugged me tight. Glad you came, she whispered. Dinner was awkward but civil. We talked about safe topics, the weather, work in general terms, a new restaurant that opened downtown. Nobody mentioned the cruise. Nobody asked about my apartment. Nobody brought up money. My mom overcompensated, being too cheerful and chatty. My dad barely spoke, his pride still wounded. But he did not yell. He did not guilt trip. He just existed in the same space as me, which was something. After 3 hours, I said I needed to go. My mom hugged me again. "Come back soon," she asked, her voice hopeful. "Maybe," I said honestly. Sophia walked me to my car. "That went okay," she said. "Yeah, it was not terrible. It is a start." She was right. It was not perfect. The relationship would never be what it was, but maybe it could be something healthier, something with boundaries, something where I was seen as a person, not a wallet. Now, 6 months after everything happened, my life looks completely different. My student loans are paid off. That fact still amazes me every time I think about it. 0 debt, free and clear. My savings account has grown to almost $15,000. I am building wealth for the first time in my life. Actual security, actual breathing room. I got promoted at work, a raise of $3,000 per year. Not huge, but significant. My boss said I earned it through consistently strong performance. I am even dating someone. Her name is Rachel. I met her at that coffee shop 2 blocks from my apartment. She is a graphic designer. She is funny and kind, and she respects boundaries. When I told her about my family situation, she did not judge. She just listened. She sees me as me, not as someone to extract value from. My relationship with my family is slowly improving. I see them about once a month. We talk on the phone every couple of weeks. My dad is still distant. His pride may never fully recover. But my mom is trying. She is learning slowly to see me as an adult with my own life. Sophia and I are close again. We have a healthy sibling dynamic now. No more entitlement. No more assumptions. I learned profound lessons through all of this. Family does not mean you owe them your success. Love and obligation are not the same thing. Setting boundaries does not make you selfish. It makes you healthy. Your hard work deserves to benefit your life first. You cannot set yourself on fire to keep others warm. That $45,000 bonus bought me something more valuable than any cruise could ever provide. It bought me freedom. Freedom from debt that had haunted me for 6 years. Freedom from guilt that had controlled me for 28 years. Freedom from toxic expectations that had shaped every decision I made. Freedom to build a life on my own terms. People sometimes ask me if I regret it, if I wish I had just given them the money to keep the peace, if avoiding the conflict would have been easier. My answer is always the same. Not for a single second. That choice changed the entire trajectory of my life. It taught me self-worth. It showed me that I deserve respect, even from family, especially from family. It proved that I could stand up for myself and survive. More than survive. Thrive. The cruise would have been 2 weeks of someone else's dream. My freedom is forever. That $45,000 bonus bought me back from people who saw me as a resource instead of a son. It bought me space to grow into who I actually am instead of who they needed me to be. It bought me the chance to build something that is truly mine. And I would not change a single thing. Have you ever had to set a boundary with family that cost you a relationship? How did you handle the guilt? Drop your story in the comments below. If this resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe to hear more real stories about navigating difficult family dynamics. Share this with someone who might need to hear that choosing yourself is not selfish, it is necessary. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helps you feel less alone in whatever battle you are fighting. Remember, your success is yours, your future is yours, and you deserve to protect both. Take care of yourselves out there.